And as mentioned, Brazil's far-right President Jair Bolsonaro called for 1 million of his supporters to travel to the country's capital, Brasilia, to protest against the Supreme Court this Tuesday. Tens of thousands showed up, but the court continued operating as usual. Our correspondent Brian Meir reports.
For months, Jair Bolsonaro and his followers have been threatening to shut down the Brazilian Supreme Court after it authorized a series of corruption investigations against the beleaguered president and his family. Last week, President Bolsonaro and his backers called for 1 million people to come to Brasilia, the capital, to protest in front of the Supreme Court on September 7th, Brazilian Independence Day. Turnout was big, but it was a lot lower than expected, and the court remained open.
Brazil is in crisis. Inflation and unemployment are skyrocketing. People are going hungry, and the government is taking the luxury of calling for street protests. It spent a lot of money to incite criminal acts based on goals from military dictatorship, like interventions against government institutions like the Supreme Court.
Hundreds of trucks and buses, many bankrolled by right-wing politicians connected to agribusiness, arrived in the capital, mainly from the conservative Brazilian North and Midwest. The Bolsonaros may have managed to put tens of thousands of people on the streets, but many of them seemed confused about why they were there.
We are criminalizing communism, the toga communism of the Federal Supreme Court, which is implanting communism in our country and censoring our freedom. And this is why we support Bolsonaro. We are against the criminalization of the toga.
It may have been the largest protest in Brasilia in 4 years, but the fact that it was smaller than expected and that turnout was even lower in other cities shows how the multiple crises underway in Brazil are eroding the far-right government's support. Brian Meir, teleSUR, Brasilia.